If you enjoyed the book Endurance that told the story of Ernest Shackleton's survival in the Antarctic, or if you're a fan of the Patrick O'Brian books, you're going to love The Wager by David Grann. In fact, I'm going to say you won't be able to put it down. It tells the true story of a ship called the Wager. Now, the Wager was part of a small British convoy that was sent out to attack Spanish ships in a thing called the War of Jenkins' Ear. Goofy name for a war, no? This ship, the Wager, wrecked on a small island off the coast of Chile. When the survivors washed ashore on this island, they had already suffered an incredible amount of hardship in getting from England, where they started, and around Cape Horn. In fact, they had lost a lot of lives to scurvy, accidents, and all the other bad stuff that these old wooden ships went through. After they were on this island for a while, in absolutely miserable conditions, there was a mutiny. What the mutiny did was to split the survivors into two groups. The larger of the two groups, led by a gunner named Bulkley, took a couple of the little boats they had salvaged and headed back home to England, going through the Strait of Magellan. Now, the other group, the smaller one, that was led by the captain, a guy named David Cheap, and it went the other way, heading north along the coast of Chile. Both groups got back to England. And of course, that was where the lawyers jumped in and had themselves a little court-martial. Now, if you're wondering what happened to the original convoy, they actually succeeded in doing what they were sent out to do. Namely, they caught a big Spanish ship. And the Commodore got himself a $20 million bonus, even though he had lost 5 ships and something like 1,300 lives. There were several things that stood out to me about this book. First, it's very well written. The author, David Grann, fits in a lot of background detail about the Royal Navy in the 18th century, and he manages to put it all into a very, very fast-moving book. The second thing is that it gives you a lot to think about in terms of leadership. You see in detail the contrast in leadership styles between Cheap, the captain, and Bulkley, the gunner, the mutineer. Now, I'm going to take a pass on commenting on the handful of pages at the end of this book where David Grann puts a little political interpretation on all of this. But that aside, this is a positively first-rate book. In fact, I just about guarantee it's going to end up a movie. You might want to give it a try. And again, it's The Wager by David Grann. And I'll see you next week. Take care.